have that fixed. Yeah, hello. It's me, Serranos, and Bunger. We're gonna be talking about the anime. Yes, hello. I guess it's fair enough for you to introduce yourself. It'd be silly for me not to, even though you don't do anything. You don't even go on Twitter very much. Wait, yes, I was talking to you. What do you mean? Oh yeah, it's fair for you to introduce yourself. Yeah, you do a lot of things. Why were you doing that? You're still a Naruto fan. You're not a Boruto fan, but you like Naruto. Oh, wait, you're talking about Boruto is actually getting better. You're still keeping up with it. Okay. Yeah. Today we're just gonna be talking about where we are at with our shows. We talked about a couple weeks ago. It was like 3 weeks ago. Just how we felt about the season. First impressions. I call this like second impressions. We dropped a decent number of shows by now, but there's still some more we're probably going to drop. Not entirely set on everything we're going to be watching for this season. So we got some stuff in the middle still. Yeah, I'll link this tier maker into the chat if anybody would like to follow along and make their own here. This is not one I made. I did find this. I was like, hey, this one has everything I was going to be looking for anyways. I forgot where he got it from. I think it might be at the bottom. Yeah, he got it from livechart.me. I don't use that site, but it has all the images I was looking for, so that's good. Yeah, basically going to be going through these alphabetically because that's how they're lined up in the first place. We're going to be just putting together a tier list. We're going to be making yours alongside me, Michael, as we go along. Okay, and we'll go look at yours after we're done here. We'll just stick to mine for now. Yeah, I have these ordered out towards like favorites. This is usually shows I'll give pretty much every show a number rating. That's how I just like view everything is comparatively. Favorites is just like what I give my nines and my tens to. I don't think I really have one this season in terms of new airing shows. I still have a couple continuing shows that we're watching this season, but for the most part, it's just new stuff. I don't have many long running shows for this season. Excellent. That's stuff I'd rate like around 8 to 9 area. Great, I would give like 7 or above. Good, usually be like a 6. Decent, that's like the 4 to 5 range. And we do have two categories here because it's kind of an edge case. It's just like, what am I feeling like this season? Which shows are more interesting? Not particularly if they're better or not. It's just what specifically is more interesting to me. Then I have the boring category. Generally shows I'd rate below a 4, but above like a 2. It's just generally they're not even the worst shows. They're just shows that I don't really feel have much to offer. Just shows I'm not really shows I've already dropped for the most part. I think yeah, I don't think I have any shows except for the ones that I have in the hate watch category. So I have a couple. I still have one of those that we're keeping on. We'll talk about that a little bit. I think anybody who's watched our stream last time knows what that one probably is. And then most of the rest of the shows are going in the garbage tier. Most of the rest, anything I gave a very low rating to, that's going in the garbage. Michael, I said you could sort yours however you want. This is how I'm sorting mine out. And I also have a little extra tier for stuff I haven't seen. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and the first one, just getting right along there. Gather's Adventure in Isekai. We dropped this after one episode. It was the one where it's like when I struggle to remember shows, it's like it's rough. It's like he just walks into the forest and is just rich, kind of. It's another one of these OP protagonist shows. It didn't seem like there was really anything interesting going on here. There's no character designs I liked. One thing that was a little bit different is like apparently eventually, because we only watched episode one, eventually he's going to get like this dragon newt or dragonborn kind of companion, like half dragon guy. Other than that, like he got this familiar from this black dragon is like, you're kind of cool. I like that. You're an anime protagonist, so I'm gonna give you my offspring so you can raise it. And yeah, that was season one, or that was episode one, and yeah, I had no interest in continuing after episode one. It was like instant drop tier. Uh, yeah, number two, a mangaka's I forgot what weirdly wonderful workplace, something like that. I think this one's pretty decent. I'd probably put it. I don't know if I would give it a 6 or a 5.5. I think it's pretty decent. I think for now I'll lean towards giving it a 6. I think I'll put it in my good category. Yeah, very cute girls writing or cute girls creating manga show. That's what it's about. This worrywart, constantly stumbling over herself girl is pretty good at drawing, but she has no confidence and she's hard to work with because it's hard to get her to do anything because she's so has so low self-esteem. Mildly entertaining. Yeah, hello Dex. Stopping by just to say hi. Yeah, we got this. Yeah, she has a senpai that looks out for her, who's taught her everything. It shows an interaction with like a decent number of characters. We only watched. I don't remember if we watched 3 or 4 episodes now. Let me look back at my list. Because yeah, all these shows we watched at least 3 episodes or more if we have not dropped them by now. A couple days ago, we worked on getting all the shows up to 3 because pretty much everything has been going for at least 3 weeks now. Some shows are up to 5. I think my Ask for One Final Thing might even be up to 6 heading this weekend. Yeah, my Ask for One Final Thing has already hit 6 episodes. We're like halfway through the season for that one. Manga's Weirdly Wonderful Workplace, we got it 3 episodes. I'd say it was generally a pretty good time. I might not finish the season with it, but I'm still watching it for now. I'll see if it still entertains me later on. Yeah, this one, Star Brighter Than the Sun, I believe it was called. Let's double check what it's called. I did put it on the paused, I believe. Yeah, she's tall. Oh, actually, I did not set this right because I want to set this to only releasing so I could look at the drop category as well. Because I have a decent number of drop shows that we'll get to a little bit later. There's a lot of drop shows actually. I thought I had a paused category because I'm pretty sure this is one like a Star Brighter in the Sun. I put it on paused instead of dropped. Like, let's fix this and look at my thing here. So I have a good amount of shows like Metalist is a really good one I had from previous season. I just didn't finish. I wanted to finish Spice and Wolf, a couple other random ones, but I don't see a Star Brighter Than the Sun. Did I delete the entry? Let's actually look it up on AniList here. A Star Bringer, Star Brighter Than the Sun. So this is still airing, but I have it on dropped. I thought I put it on pause, but I guess I must have moved everything off my pause to dropped. That's why I couldn't find it. It sounds really poor when you put it that way, but it just didn't. It did not really have that much caught my interest. I thought it was well produced enough, and I liked the characters okay enough that I put it in decent. I gave it a 5.5. I gave it a 5.5 instead of rating it lower because I enjoyed the characters alright. I thought it had some decent jokes, but it seemed to not have much forward progress in the couple episodes that we watched. I think we only watched 2 episodes, but I didn't really see that much of it going forward. We actually got introduced to like a potential like love rival, but she ended up in episode 2 being supportive of their cause of getting together. I think we covered this on the first or I was gonna say I think we covered this 3 weeks ago. I don't think we watched anything since then. I think we dropped it after the second episode. Yeah, like it's definitely cute enough, and it's not like anything weird. It's not we're like kowtowing to person who is protagonist. Very human response. But overall, I didn't see too much that was interesting to me. But I think it's worth watching if you really like romance shows and you're looking for some to add this season. I think there's definitely people who could enjoy it, but I decided there's too many other shows that are of higher interest to me. So yeah, that one is on the back. Yeah, there aren't really a lot. Last season there was last season was all romance shows. Every show is a romance show. Yeah, Wild Last Boss Beard. This one is my current favorite of the new shows. This one is I'd put an excellent. Yeah, this is one we also just caught up on. We watched another episode a couple days ago. Yeah. One of the things I harp on most often because it's very prevalent in anime is the overpowered protagonist syndrome. And this one very much shares that. She is an overpowered protagonist. But what makes Lufus different from other ones is that the show is is better animated than others. That's one of the main ones. But also we don't really try to display the character coming up from nothing. That when somebody starts as overpowered and knows it, and they're not trying to fight, they're not trying to pretend they're like some low level schmuck fulfilling a power fantasy. I find it more appealing when we just know it's like, yeah, this guy is like OP as hell. He can do whatever he wants, and he is going to bend the world to his whim, like Overlord. Is there anything else you'd say about the characters you enjoyed? Because yeah, we like the main character. Yeah, yeah, I did make a couple tweets about this, like just some interesting aspects to the world building, like the fact that they made somebody who like built up a city made a gigantic water golem to defend it. Like the entire lake around the city is a golem that could be used as a defensive measure, which I thought was just an interesting way to use monsters in the setting. Because a lot of fantasy settings don't really do very much outside of like the Tolkien, the D&D esque stuff. They just like stick to your paint by numbers setup, and then you just have your overpowered protagonist leveling up instantly in like the first couple episodes to become this unstoppable monster, and he's still apparently on this quest to defeat the demon lord. And he could accomplish that in the first episode anyways. He could get revenge on who he wants to in the first episode anyways. Like we're gonna see later. A little bit of that later. That is another aspect of it, is that they are kind of setting up that there should be something stronger that can actually properly challenge her, even though everything she's seen thus far is monumentally weaker than her. All these people she is seeing are just like NPC level mooks and people who are previously what would you call, like, it wouldn't be vassal, but it would be like, because the sheep, how did the sheep was basically one of her servants. Yeah, I guess I would say servants. Yeah, basically all the, like, everybody she sees was an NPC, and specifically she is now fighting. Or like in the last episode, she was fighting the sheep girl who was her was her servant anyways. So you'd expect her to be stronger. So we'll see if we what challenges appear later for them. Yeah, that one is definitely one I'm enjoying the most right now, particularly because of its high quality of animation. Some good fights in there. Yeah. Alma-chan wants to be a family. This one, I also call this decent. I think I am still we still have it on watching, but this is not one I'm sure that I'm gonna be finishing. Yeah, but at 5.5. Yeah, Alma-chan wants to be a family. Pretty simple in the setup. Is two scientists decide they want to make a superpower AI. What did they say what the reason was for it? Were they doing it for the government? Yeah, purely world destroying behavior right there. They just want to prove that they are genius scientists that can make something that's capable of destroying the world. Not that it will. Surely Alma-chan wouldn't want to end humanity as we know it. Yeah, the two scientists, they get their daughteru, and she wants them to be a family. That's actually her primary goal, is to increase Japan's population by making artificial children, I would assume. So that'll come into play later, I would imagine. They haven't suggested it yet, but I have a feeling. Although if they're artificial children, that means they're not going to get real children. They're still going to die out anyways, which would be unfortunate. uh, yeah, the Roomba brother. Yeah, we haven't watched this one in the past week because this one is one that is beyond 3 episodes now. But we didn't catch up more on this one. But yeah, pretty much everything is like there's some shows that had just gotten to 3 episodes. So we are still a little bit behind on our anime watching because I was busy playing a lot of video games the past couple weeks. Yeah, Alma-chan, I would still have that towards the middle tier. I was still decently happy with it. Definitely has a little bit of vibes of the slice of life Spy Family offers. That's pretty okay. No, I wouldn't recommend it to everybody again. Like it's definitely towards the middle for me. Yeah, Blue Orchestra, Aono Orchestra. I did watch like an episode of that of the first season, and now it's getting a season 2 like 5 years later. Uh, I am not watching it. Did you? I don't remember if I talked to you about it. Yeah, I was gonna say, did you? Well, I mentioned it because I saw those airing, but you never saw this at all. Yeah, now we've seen good ones like Bocchi the Rock and Girls Band Crying. Yeah, and now we got a returning show. What was I forget the names of everything because it doesn't have the name on there, so it's like I can't just read it and know what that is. Yeah, I am gonna just put this one towards good. Honestly, it's just not that interesting. The animation's great. It's a decent it's a decent casual watch, but in terms of everything else, it's kind of fallen back a little bit for me from what I remember the first season. I would just want something more going on for the most part than it has. There isn't really going to be any challenge. It's just going to be he's going to go around, he's going to kill some stuff because Fenrir is insanely overpowered, and then they're going to make food, and then they're going to make good food, and it's going to be enjoyable. And that's the cycle. Yeah, I would say that's fair. I would say I'd probably put it about mangaka for now. But overall, it doesn't have that much driving the plot forward, and it's kind of lost me a bit on that. I don't know. I may not finish watching it this season if I kind of get bored of the cycle. If it doesn't have something like we already had the introduction of like okay now we have new gods and they're gonna be wanting to sack or they're gonna be demanding food from him as well because they're gonna give more buffs to his minions. And it's just kind of the same thing. It really doesn't add any new layer to the show. It doesn't add anything extra of interest. It is what it is. That's probably all it's ever going to be. If you enjoy watching a simple cooking show, it's definitely fair enough to pick up, but I probably wouldn't watch a season 3 since again at this point I don't know if I'm going to finish season 2. Something like Delicious and Dungeon was much more appealing to me having the a strong overarching narrative and character development. And it changed basically nothing. We do have the elf who's going to be around probably somewhat, but I mean he has actual different aspects of the show because somebody else we would see regularly, but otherwise, yeah, he's basically the only new element to add a little spice to it. So yeah, I mean his fascination with like expensive, exquisite food is also connecting him to the other characters, so I could see him sticking around. That's true. They could move on. I don't know if they'd want to stay in the same town or if he wants to keep exploring. I think one thing that would enhance this anime for me is if we had more interesting environments. We've really just had like generic fantasy forests. We've had like some fantasy monsters. We have not had anything that's like super cool and creative. Outside of Fenrir's design, there isn't very much going on in terms of like artistic design that I find to be exceptional. Yeah, that's why it's more towards the middle to me, and this one could end up falling off later. Yeah, Chutose is in the ramune bottle, or in the ramune bottle. Oh, yeah, actually, it was is in the ramune bottle. I actually did get it right. I did not finish reading. I just knew it was Chutose and ramune. Ramune being insanely expensive. I wish I could actually buy it. I think I'm probably gonna end up saying that every time I bring this show up. Because it always reminds me of Robin, and I like Robin. The one time I had it, I was like, this is a great soda. Yeah, this one is about a. I mean, it's hard to describe his personality because he's the kind of person you think is like this loser protagonist, but everybody actually likes him because he's just nice to people. And he does things like we saw in the first episode, or the was actually the second episode. It was the end of the first episode. He, yeah, he. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was the beginning of the second episode or not. Yeah, the first episode was long. He breaks into one of his classmates' rooms from the outside with a baseball bat by shattering his sliding glass door at the behest of his mother, trying to get him out of the room. And now we're going on a journey of like just increasing his confidence. Really, that's mostly what we're going over, is increasing the green-haired kid's confidence and making him more comfortable in returning to a proper social life. Yeah, I found this to be pretty endearing. He has, yeah, Chitose has like 6 different girls that want him, and we're probably gonna see more hijinks in terms of them competing with each other for him. I think we'll. I mean, I guess I say I think I would hope to see we'll get a little bit more depth for each of our characters going on, but each of them already have a little bit to them. Like we have the sports girl. And I feel like the characterization is good because I feel grounded in the world. It feels like they are acting like people. It does feel like I can make a connection to them that way. Maybe you don't like people, and that's why you're having a hard time enjoying it. So yeah, you just get upset about the gayness of anime YouTubers. That's your real point of contention here. It probably will. Yeah, it probably will. Yeah, no, I find the characterization to be pretty good. I mean, we keep talking about it. Yeah, I find it to be good. I've enjoyed it so far, and I definitely expect to keep watching it and finish out the season. Overall, I do feel more positive about the season now than I did at the beginning. I feel like I have more shows in like the upper range, even if they're not in like the top range. I have more shows in the upper range than I did than I expected previously. And Chitose is one of them. Chitose is one of the ones I expected to be one of the highest ones, but nonetheless, it did make it there, which is good. Dad is a hero, mom is a spirit, I'm a reincarnator. Yeah, we talked about this one at length, kind of. I'd say, yeah, we did talk about this one basically at length last time we were on stream. We didn't really connect with this one. This one just it didn't feel like they used the reincarnation thing. We ended up dropping this episode one. I wouldn't call it garbage. It wasn't terrible, but it's just I would call it boring. It did not really have anything that felt like it used it set up different things and it didn't feel like it used them very well. It felt like we were just going through this is the plot point we want to show now. This is the thing we want to go now. It felt like somebody was condensing their backstory and telling it back to you. So yeah, I wasn't really interested in this. Dropped after. I don't. Did we look a little bit in episode 2? I think we did. I think we like skipped around episode 2 a little bit. We watched one episode and then we were basically done with it. There was really wasn't much there that kept me interested. Yeah, I'd say it does have qualities above stuff I'd put in the garbage tier, but overall, I definitely wouldn't put it high enough to call it decent. Okay, Digimon Beat Break. Did I didn't watch this. I'm not a Digimon guy. So yeah, we didn't watch that. I think this is the show we've actually watched the most of, up there with the punchy villainous. I'm gonna look up the name. Yeah, Dusk Beyond the End of the World. I was like, I don't know the full title. I have to look it up. It is what it is. I'm not gonna lie here. Yeah, Dust Beyond the End of the World. This is one where our guy was on the cusp of AI being implemented into like wide scale and like or androids being made, and then he gets sealed away. And hundreds of years later, every android is based off of his girlfriend, or well, his or was his yeah, it was his girlfriend. I was gonna say yeah, fiance. He gets put into cryogenic sleep, and now all of the androids are just based off of hers, and we can kind of deduce that there was some kind of world-ending apocalypse. People were still around, but it definitely destroyed civilization as we knew it. Hmm. Yeah, I put it at the top of my good tier for now. I think it'll probably stay there. I don't think I had any other shows I put above it that weren't good enough to go into the great tier. Yeah, I think this is pretty interesting. I like the world we got going on. The villains were a little bit corny to me, but in terms of the villain androids, I did find more engaging because like the humans cannot compete with the androids at all. It's not possible. They're on a completely different level. And I was very impressed by how much gore it had. I was like, wow, that's kind of nuts. It was not shy about showing that kind of violence. Yeah, and that's what yeah, like it wasn't just like surprising, it was very well done. Like it was very well animated and detailed. Far more than I'd expected. I never expected that from this show. I, yeah, I'm not the most interested like in the characters overall. That's something that's like preventing me from putting it higher. I've not really felt myself attached to the characters, but I do find the world to be interesting, and that's very much able to push me forward, and that's why I'm keep going with it right now. Yeah, Gachi Akuda. This is one I dropped basically immediately. You watched the first episode with me, and I thought it was pretty garbage. I thought it was terrible. This is from last season as well. Like this is I'm still gonna mention it here because I just hated it. Yeah, we have the trash world. We are into season two now. I'm not gonna be making any comment on that because I haven't watched or not season two, but the second half of season one. I can't make any comment on it because I dropped it very early on, but I just thought the whole basis of the world was pretty contrived and didn't really make much sense. It seemed to be filled with excuses to get our characters to the point where the author wanted them to be, and nothing else really. Did you have any other thoughts on it? Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah, I was gonna say like the whole basis just like upset me, and it felt like it was very obvious what was going to be happening. It felt like I could read it like a book, and I just knew it was going to be dumb. And yeah, it was just so generic. I've seen so many of these like revenge slop stories. I just got tired of it. And then I on my own watched episode 2. I think it was. I don't think I got to episode 3. I got to episode 2 and I was just like infuriated with the protagonist and just how dumb he was. Cuz then he acts like a total retard. Yeah. He's just screaming and like demanding to know what's going on from a person trying to help him. Yeah, I was so upset with Gachiakuta. I if I wanted to like do a hate review, if I wanted to do a hate review, this would be one I would do it on, just like Hell's Paradise from a couple years back. Yeah, if I want to do a hate review, I would definitely pick Gachiakuta. Honestly, like in terms of other aspects of the show, other than the like the world setting and the main character being stuff I hated, there's probably other redeeming qualities, but like the writing just put me off so much from jump that I didn't really have any interest in giving it a chance. And here's our hate watch. This is our hate watch of the season. I'm expecting to finish this one. I'm expecting to hate it like the entire way through. uh we have Among Us, but every time we get to the end of like voting, whether he wins or whether he loses. He does actually win. This is a little bit of spoiler, but he actually wins one round, and he gets sent back in time anyways. So the rules of the universe just don't really have a logic to them that we understand. The rules are just whatever they want it to be. It's just we're gonna reset until we're done with it. or Yeah, like we have the aspect of time loops. We have the aspect of like this omnipotent ship AI that knows when there's a traitor on board and when there isn't, but it doesn't know which one is the traitor until the game is over. It feels like a death game kind of thing, sort of. We don't. I mean, I call it that, but there isn't like any other death game aspect to it. It's just like people randomly die. It's not like there's like torture, there's challenges or anything. It's just like people just randomly die. People get voted off, and they're effectively dead to the plot for the rest of the episode. And it's just that's it spins itself in so many circles that nothing makes sense. It is very funny to watch, though. It's very funny to think, where are they going from here, because you really don't know. You really don't know where they are going to go. Because it's going to be dumber than you expected. Like, we could have, like, we're stuck on the ship now, but we could just leave the ship and do something entirely different for no reason. I don't know why it would happen, but I actually expect that to happen by the end of the series. We're just going to be introduced to some new thing that is unconnected to the rest of the plot, with like the nausea, which are the like traitors or like alien parasites that infect people. We don't even know how that works. It's just they're evil. It makes a person evil and kill everybody else. We don't have any idea how anything works. Nothing makes sense. Uh, yeah, if there's two traitors, they actually only can kill one person, so you'll never know if you got somebody out or not. Yeah. Yeah, overall, slowly Nosy is just adding more characters, and some of them are slight. I mean, I can't even say they're more interesting. They don't really matter. Their personalities don't change between loops, and how they act doesn't really change. It's just so many weird things. Moving on to Hero Without a Class. This one I don't remember. I don't remember anything about it at this point, other than the fact that he's like the skillless guy. Well, I guess that's all there was to it. He's the guy without skills, and then he can just copy other people's skills by seeing them use it. We dropped this at episode 1 like immediately. I think it was probably, honestly, I think there might have been enough qualities I could say it was boring instead of garbage. I think there might be, I mean, I don't know if there's more redeeming factors than Gachiakuta though. That's the hard part. Is like, I think they're probably it. Yeah, it's like it's another OP protagonist show. He's just gonna become insanely overpowered. Honestly, there could be some fun going through it, like analytically, and trying to analyze what's going on. But otherwise, like in terms of enjoyment just from watching it, I don't think I could get anything out of that one. Honestly, I'd probably be more willing to go back to this than I would be Gather's Adventure, though I'm gonna put it above Gather's Adventure. Oh yeah, this is definitely one of my most hated ones. Honestly, I might, yeah, I'd probably put this like the very bottom. Inexpressive Kashiwada, expressive Uta. This was my least favorite one I've seen all season. It may not literally be the worst, but the whole premise and the way they executed on it just drove me up a wall. I think I fully expressed my opinions on it last time, but it's just like the whole idea is, the funny part is that she doesn't react when he does something that's surprising or should be shocking. But he's also, the main male character Uta is just a retard. And I don't even understand how we're supposed to laugh at the fact that she doesn't have a reaction. I don't find that funny. It's just like it shows text on screen how she's feeling, like in Komi-san, except the situations aren't that interesting. And we don't get to see her like sweating or anything, or seeing her like look away or making any kind of reaction. She literally doesn't have a reaction. That's like half of the comedy of most comedy shows, and it just doesn't exist here. And that's the entire point, is that it doesn't exist. That show infuriates me. This is a sequel. We did not watch this one. I don't. Bed Bath and Spirits. I think I might have watched one episode of the first season, but I don't remember it at all. Also, I'm gonna say I probably didn't. Another Kingdom sequel. I have not touched that one at all either. Yeah. Oh, this is the sequel to the guy that's the. You see the little sister there, the little black-haired one. We saw it a couple seasons back. Maybe it was like 2 seasons ago, maybe three. This was like another overpowered protagonist show. He like runs a guild or something. I'd have to look up what the name was. Jojo. Maybe. Yeah, that one was honestly I would probably just put it in boring. I thought there was enough qualities in terms of the character dynamics and just the episode or two we saw. I was like, I would be okay checking some of it out, but I knew I wasn't gonna be finishing it. I knew it wasn't that good. So I ended up just dropping it anyways after a couple episodes. I'm gonna put this on scene because I haven't seen any of the it's been probably around a year and I haven't seen any of season two. I don't plan on it either. Okay, this is another one for the hate watch category. Let's play. This is a webtoon, an American made webtoon, and it has so many weird Tumblrite things going on with it. I definitely have it in the hate watch category for me, but we did end up dropping this one. We decided we didn't want to have a bunch of hate watch shows with how many other shows we did like this season, so we ended up dropping this one. So I would blow Nausea since it didn't really make the cut. Nausea was more interesting. This one is kind of a little bit more easy to understand. Let's Play was easier to understand. This girl makes games, and this guy who plays video games on stream comes and moves next to her, and she has like office dynamics and stuff, and we got like other people. I didn't like the side characters. I really disliked a lot of side characters. Just the dialogue for them, like the dialogue in general in the show was pretty bad, and the dialogue of the side characters especially like annoyed me. So yeah, I did not end up wanting to keep up with it. Yeah, terrible emotions. That was one aspect of the Tumblrite-ness was we have like emotion demons like that show up behind the characters. Sometimes they weren't very consistent. They just sometimes they were there, sometimes they weren't. It looked really dumb. It's just like these big muscly dudes with mascot heads on, with the emotion written on it. Really weird stuff. There was. I was gonna say game theory. Nausea would be about game theory because that's what they talk about for a good bit, and I think it was episode 3 actually. They were talking about game theory more. Yeah, because they unlocked the classes. Yeah, that's what they're gonna start doing. Is they're gonna unlock more classes, and he's gonna like get a different one each time he dies or like revives or whatever, and then he's gonna have to use the skills to win. One time he has to get imposter, right? He has to get imposter. Maybe that's what's waiting for. Until he turns into the imposter, he can't exit the time loop until he gets imposter and wins. If they don't show that to us, that'd be. I mean, it feels weird that they wouldn't show us that to us, like him being an imposter. I mean, maybe it just don't fit with the the angle they're taking there. Yeah, Little Miss Vampire Can't Suck Right. This is one I rate pretty highly. I almost put it up in the excellent tier. Actually, let me see. I don't think because I want to make it like 8 or above. Yeah, I didn't have anything else that's gonna put up there right now. We'll sort that by score. Yeah, Little Miss Vampire Can't Suck Right is just a little slice of life set in a school, starring Little Miss Vampire and guy without a face. That one put pretty high. Just like I found it to be a really enjoyable slice of life. It was leaning heavily on the cuteness and comedy, and I thought it did that really well. I probably wouldn't rate it like there's not really any romance aspect to it. I wouldn't rate it as one of my favorite like comedies, but I definitely say it's a good show to watch this season. Definitely one of the stronger contenders in the season. One of the better shows I've watched. I don't really have too. I was gonna say I don't think I have too much to say about it. It really just is a good show. Do you have any particular aspect you'd want to talk about with it? Hmm. Yeah, it's the way the show treats him and like treats him like a blank slate. But he actually does have more personality than many other. I think he has more interesting. He's a more interesting character to follow than the main character of Dusk here. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, Dusk is like the characters being the weak point for me, and that very much holds true. I guess that's probably one thing that like is elevating it to a higher level for me is because I enjoy watching these characters go about their daily lives and seeing how they just deal with their mundane situations. I found it to be pretty interesting. Yeah, not a top comedy, but definitely just a fun show. And this is one that's fallen off a little bit for me. It's still one of the more popular shows this season, but may I have this one final wish? I'm just gonna actually be putting a good tier. The animation has fallen kind of off a cliff. The animation in episode one wasn't really spectacular. I think it was good. It was entertaining, but the premise is all right. But the like, it's kind of slowing down a bit in terms of stuff happening. Is what it feels like as we get just a little bit later into the show. Yeah, like she is still beating people up, but it's like we're going through like the we went through like the slaver arc, and we gotta take down the slavers. And I don't even remember what the last thing we were transitioning. I don't think I was paying attention very closely as we got through episode four. Oh yeah, she fought the dragon. Yeah, that's yeah. Like there's just like the animation falling off is a big one for me. If it was better animated, I would probably be willing to keep going with it, or much stronger affinity for it. Let's see. Did I have it as six? I'm pretty sure I still had it as six. 'Cause, yeah, it was actually still one of the lower rated shows I have right now. Hmm. I'm not. Yeah, I'm definitely a little bit teetering on it. It's like if we don't see some improvement, we don't see something more interesting going on. It's like an arcing plot because she doesn't really have any enemy that she'd be trying to go after right now. She doesn't really have. She had the she had the prince from another kingdom come and try to marry her. Is like just immediately proposing to her because she was strong. We don't really have many interesting conflicts going on is what I would say. It's like I want a more interesting conflict going on. She's just like so incredibly overpowered, more so than many other villainous protagonists, even ones that are like intentionally described as very overpowered. She just really doesn't have any like friction in her story. That's making it less interesting to me. I think I'll put it down in decent right now. If it impresses me more, I'll put it up, but I'm gonna just keep it in decent right now. I had it at a six. Yeah. So, yeah, yeah, we'll be halfway through and we'll decide if we want to drop or not, and then we'll update. Yeah, for now we are still watching it. This is one, yeah, Mechanical Marie. Actually, yeah, I found it to be totally decent, a decent show. Just not quite a high enough level where I keep watching it. It's just a totally okay comedy with some decent bits here and there. It has some like full splash panel art, which I did find endearing. But otherwise, there wasn't too much about it that I liked. Like it was just the funny jokes of, haha, she's trying to act like a robot. She's trying to not get exposed. She has to protect him while not getting exposed. There's tons of people trying to kill this guy, and she has to protect him from them. And then we get introduced to the mechanical Marie herself, like an actual robot version of her, which I did find to be entertaining. But overall, it's not the most like tightly paced show. Not the most tightly paced comedy. It doesn't have the best jokes. Just pretty all right all around. Was this one you would like to keep watching if it wasn't for me choosing it? Okay. So yeah, I think it's just towards the middle. I think it's kind of average, and this isn't one I kept watching. I'd probably put it above the Star Brighter and the Sun, based on the couple episodes I did watch. But yeah, overall, I dropped it in the end. Uh, I don't remember what this one was. I don't think I watched it. I'd have to look up. I have to go over to. I have to go down here to live chart. Check this out real quick and see which show that was. Do it by popularity, I guess. Yeah. Actually, I could do it by alphabetical because that would be the same order. As I say, I just don't remember because I think it's a sequel. I'm assuming it's a sequel because I didn't remember covering it in like our previews. I'm not recognizing it from these pictures either. Mechanical Marie would be after that. I guess some of these are a little bit out of order because the is the Romanji title rather than English. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, here it was. Monster Strike Deadverse. I did not know anything about this one. Did I actually forget that I watched this? Because I don't think we watched this. Okay, that's why. That's why I do not remember it. Yeah, it only had 2 episodes, so we did not have a chance to watch it. I didn't have much. Maybe we will go back and watch this. Let's take a look at the Take a look at the trailer real quick. I don't think I have the audio on here, but we'll just open it up here. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember looking at this in previews at all. Animation's totally decent, just pretty normal. Nothing exceptional I'm not seeing yet. Very generic character design, some bad CG. Honestly, her character design's decent. I actually like her character design. No, I was gonna say this one's like super generic. This is like really generic. It's not terrible. This is like incredibly generic. It's like the only way it'd be more so is if she had black hair. It's like, just turn it purple. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this car. Look at this car go up. uh, yeah, this is like a long running series. There's a lot of other Monster Strike anime, and I'm assuming games too. I've never heard of the game series. I don't think. At least I don't remember it. Let's see. It says just a parent, so yeah, maybe it is a remake of the original. I'm not sure. Is this guy like at all similar to No, it doesn't look at all similar. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's based on one of the games in the series. I'm not familiar with the series at all, but it is a long running series. I think I'll just skip it. I'm not that interested in it. The animation is kind of bad. Nah, I'm not. I'm not gonna bother. Another Gintama sequel. Another one that I have not watched. Did you ever watch Gintama? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to starting Gintama at some point or just watching some of Gintama, but no, I have not watched it. Here is my awkward senpai. I would probably put this as the best of the decent shows we're not watching. Yeah, I would say this might be the best show we're not watching. You didn't feel super positively towards it. Yeah, I mean, I think the main character is cute. I liked watching her and seeing how she reacted to the different situations that she's trying to get come out of her shell. I find that to be relatable, being shy in the workplace and stuff like that. Because I don't really like talking with people that much, despite how I may seem at points. And it's just like kind of a normal thing is like trying to get along with other people's can be a little bit weird, and it's taken to like just another level to create more situations where she would be kind of awkward with other people. Yeah, I found it to be a decent romance. We talked about like the weird hair colors underneath the people's hair. That's still noticeable and weird, but honestly, just like a minor thing. A minor thing. It's not really a notable gripe, I would say. It's just the art style's a little bit odd. It's easy to make fun of because it's just kind of a normal show. It's not really it doesn't have anything to make it so much higher to where I'd be continuing watching it. Yeah, pretty okay show. My little sister has it in for me. We are still watching this one, I believe. I didn't. If I did put it on the drop, I dropped it. I was gonna say. I think I. I'm trying to think back to it. Would this be the highest rate? Okay, I was gonna say it's like I don't remember why I dropped it. That would probably be why. Like I completely fell out of interest of it. Oh, now I remember it. Yeah, like some Looney Tunes bullshit. Yeah, honestly, it was just yeah. I was thinking it was like it was okay. I didn't remember if I was still watching it or not because we didn't watch it this week. Yeah, no, we will be dropping that one going forward. Would I put it above my awkward senpai? I'm not sure. I'd probably put it below Mechanical Marie. It kind of mixed on it. There was some comedy I found entertaining, but then there was decently long parts of the show where I just wasn't that interested in it. Seeing him in awkward situations with like his the female compatriots in the show, the other female characters, those were probably the most entertaining part of the show. I'd say those like what the best comedy was from, and outside of that, they didn't really push it insanely hard. We had like one scene or two, probably about like one scene per episode where he had like some awkward situation with a female character in the show, and that was about it. Yeah, I'm just trying to think like how I would tier these, like if I was gonna put one over the other very specifically, like which ones I would want to watch the most going forward. Honestly, I'd probably give. I was gonna say I'd probably give the Star Brighter and the Sun another chance before most of these other shows. Thinking back to it, yeah, don't have any plans to watch it, but I'd probably still be more willing. Like if I'm gonna pick a show from down here that isn't Let's Play, because that would be kind of funny. Outside of Let's Play, this would probably like a Star Brighter and the Sun would probably be the first one I'd go back, watch a couple episodes, see if I want to actually continue it again. Like with a with good faith intentions, Gachiakuta excluded. Level 9909 gotcha. The premise was funny, and I had considered this is one I had considered for hate watching, but honestly, I don't think it's really gonna be interesting enough to put it up there. I think there is some funny bits with just how absurd the power scaling is. Like he's level 9999. He has like five cards he summoned who like what does he call them? Do you remember what he called them? It doesn't really matter, like servants. Yeah, he has five people. Yeah, he has five people he summoned that are also level 9999, and then he has a bunch. He has like dozens that are between like levels 5,000 and 7,000, and then he has like gigantic armies of characters that are level like 1,000 or above. And the strongest character we've seen outside of those is like below level 1,000. So yeah, just like the difference in power between his characters and like the overworld that he's gonna get revenge on is so absurd that I just can't take it seriously at all. Obviously, there might be fun stuff to enjoy out of it, but I think the best parts you're gonna get out of are some clips, like episode 3, which we watched up to. Because yeah, episode 2 is a filler episode. For some reason, these idiots put a filler episode in episode 2 of the show. That was terrible. That was so bad. I was like, there's no way this is going to be like what the show's doing. So yeah, episode 3, we actually got back to the revenge plot. And there's basically one good scene at the end there. And that was about it. There's just not enough entertaining stuff to bother going back for. It was terrible. Not even good enough to get in the hate watch category. Despite how ridiculous the premise is. Yeah, pretty much. It's not like we even learned that much about them, anyways. Uh, yeah, you are the person who finished My Hero. I did not. I dropped it when the anime was on season 5. Yep. Hmm. You've only murdered like a couple hundred people. It's okay. Uh, my status as assassin obviously exceeds the heroes. I would put this as boring. This one was one of the boring ones for me. It just doesn't even have enough to be hateable. It's just I find it to be pretty dumb. I find it to be a little bit contrived in terms of like how we got our characters. Like our character just kind of starts and he could turn invisible. He could unless they have a skill that can let them see invisible people, he can just turn invisible and nobody can see him. He could have, yeah, he could have just killed people in episode 1. He could have killed the evil king, and I mean, if he didn't want to kill the princess, he could have just killed the evil king, who is apparently behind it all. We don't. We're gonna go fuck off. We're gonna go do our own thing. We're just gonna run off and do adventure stuff. It's not like the plot is the worst, but I just don't find anything interesting about it. I don't think it's gonna go to interesting places, and I don't think we're gonna get that much good going on. There could be some good fight scenes in here. Honestly, I'd probably expect it to deliver better looking fights than Gachiakuta from what I saw of it. Gachiakuta had some like ugly CG in episode 2 for like some giant metal monsters. So I wasn't really expecting much from that. But this one actually has had some great use of 3D camera, some really high detailed animation in the first episode, and generally good animation throughout. So it's nice to see something get a high quality adaptation, but I think the source material is just pretty bad and don't have any intention to keep watching it. Yeah, that's all that really needs to be said. Is when you'd go after. You like the slop? Honestly, I wouldn't like I said, I wouldn't really be opposed to watching, but I think I'm gonna be bored most of the time. But it does but I was gonna say very much, it is one of the best looking shows of the season. It looks better than like basically all these shows. Like maybe the Campfire Cookie Another World and like a couple like Last Boss, Miss Vampire Can't Stop Right. Those are the only shows that actually look better than this one this season. There's like a couple of shows. It looks really good. The animators absolutely are worth their salt. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at the charts a little bit later after we're done putting together a tier list, but I think it'll rate fairly high, but I don't think it was at the top, not from what I remember. This one I don't even remember the title of this one, but it was dumb. It was like Ninja versus Gokudo, I think it was. Yeah, Ninja versus Gokudo. We talked about some of the dumbness. I don't even have anything to add beyond what I talked about a couple weeks back because we only watched one episode I think before dropping it. I don't think we even got to episode 2. Did we? Yeah, that. Wait, I didn't even remember watching Togenanki. I put down an episode for that. Did I? Maybe I watched it and you didn't. Cause I. Wait. Oh no. This. Oh, this is because it was the one with his dad. That was episode 1. Remember his dad died, or his uncle. I don't remember what it was. Cause yeah, here's the dad. There was like the old dude who killed him. He got in a fight there, and then this. Oh, it is seriously weird. Okay, never mind. That doesn't even. Okay, that's odd. It's show. I wonder if your thing okay. Okay. Oh no, no, you're having the smoke alarm. I had a friend that had a smoke alarm dying the other day. You could see like the little screens, but basically what was happening with this one is like he has like Oni blood in his uncle or his uncle's like trying to protect him from the demon hunters, and then I don't even remember if he's gonna like try to get revenge or not, but it was like this whole world. There was like this whole world government out to stop him. I thought it was kind of garbage from episode 1. So garbage it remains. Yeah, Togenanki wasn't even what we were talking about, but I'll go grab it here. Togenanki, that one's also in the garbage. You're not cooking, so it's not your problem. Actually, you should probably get up and go check and make sure that the building is on fire before you just settle down here. You're not gonna miss anything. Are you sure? Are you sure they're smart enough? You can go deal with that. That's okay. I don't mind you stopping the street to make sure that your house isn't burning down. Ninja versus Gokudo was like the most one-sided battle I ever seen. What? They just threw him outside. Okay. uh, where would you rate our garbage shows? Because I think Hero Without a Class is not the worst in terms of like which show would I watch first. Togenanki, I'm probably gonna put that below. Gatherer's Adventure. I would definitely put Ninja versus Gokudo above Togenanki. the entire first episode. Well, I guess it did have the girl with the big boobs. Is Togenanki into season is in the second half? Is that why we don't remember it? Because it's like, yeah, it's in the second half. That's why. It's the continuing show because we watched it like 6 months ago. Yeah, that would make sense. uh, we have no idea what's going on with it right now because yeah, you don't remember. I remembered it after I looked at it for a second. I was like, oh yeah, it was that guy. And it's really hard to determine. It's like Expressive Uta definitely in the bottom still. It's definitely still my most hated show. That's not going to change. Never going to give that another chance. I mean, it's not like I'm giving these three a chance either, but like, there's probably more interesting stuff. It does have some weird stuff going on. Now one that isn't a fun hate watch. Oh man, I have to put One Punch Man season 3 in garbage. This is the worst animation One Punch Man has ever seen. It's worse than season 2. It got worse than season 2. I thought season 2 was bad. It got worse, and I don't think it's gonna get better either. I don't think it's gonna get better. We saw better from the previews. The previews literally looked better than what they actually ended up putting out on the show itself. I don't know how that happens. This is like such a massive disappointment. One Punch Man wasn't even my like favorite anime ever. It was one of the earlier anime I watched. I was like, man, this is awesome. It had sat in my like favorite anime for a while, but after a while I had watched more and more shows and it dropped down just a little bit. Still definitely one of the best shows I've watched, but not one of my favorites. But man, like season 2 like was rough. Season 2 was so rough. The animation quality was horrific comparatively. I know it's like, oh, you can't expect it to be as good as the first season. Honestly, I will. I'm still gonna expect it to be as good as the first season. I could accept that it's not as good as the first season. And I was still willing to watch it. I finished it. I like the plot lines going on. Season 3, I would still enjoy the plot lines going on, but the animation is just too bad. I can't put up with this, man. I can't put up with how bad the animation is. It's just sad how far One Punch Man's fallen. I think we should just. I'm not gonna say we should burn it down because that already happened in Anime Studio. That'd be a little bit too close to home, but Somebody should be fired for that blunder. Past the monster meat milady, I'm definitely putting that in boring. I would definitely call that boring, boring, boring. I did not have anything interesting in episode 1 at all. Maybe if I put it in episode 2, I'd put it in garbage tier. I don't know. Maybe if I watched episode 2, it'd go up to decent. But I thought it was like just insanely boring. I had no interest in watching beyond episode 1. It was just the girl likes eating monster meat. She runs into a guy that also is weird. Yeah, and you said that they'd be married, Antoinette and Hitler getting married. Yeah, plus size misadventures in love. I would say put this towards the decent. Yeah, I would say it's a decent show. It's just not that interesting. I think their comedy's pretty alright. It's funny seeing this picture. It doesn't look anything like the show because we're in like this other mystery dimension with like a Candyland. Overall, I can't really imagine that. No, I can't. I can't see that happening. I can't even picture that. That's what plus size misadventures in love is. Why does the main male character remind you of Benjamin Netanyahu? He's literally... I'm not sure where I'd rate this. I watched a couple episodes and I thought I was like, maybe I'll keep watching it, but then looking back on it, I just wasn't that entertained. I could probably put it at the top of boring tier. I think that would be a little bit of a disservice to it from how I felt about it. I was still probably at the bottom of not watching. It is funny how it constantly made fun of the main character for being fat and full of herself, and she was somewhat endearing. Um, yeah, my no, I was talking to my mom about dinner stuff, so I was talking to mom about dinner stuff. She wanted to go pick something up, so I'll be doing that a little bit later. I might actually call it early and not. We'll go through the rankings really quickly. We'll speed this up a little, but there's not that many more shows to go over. We're around halfway through. Yeah, plus there's misadventures and yeah, plus yeah, we'll be skipping some. Plus has misadventures in love. It had some decent stuff going for it. It's probably not a bad show. I think there's definitely some good stuff it could be developing later, but honestly, there's better shows that we're gonna keep watching instead. Yeah, we watched a little. Yeah, we watched a little bit of it, but I just wasn't really that interested. Honestly, I don't think it's bad. Yeah, I didn't think it was really bad. I just really wasn't that interested in it. I thought it was. Oh yeah, definitely one of the worst. We'll go to this one first. Shabake, one of the worst shows we watched. I have no idea what's going on with this world. We have like a mix of spirits. I hated the main character. Like some of the decisions that the characters were making didn't really make any sense. Dropped like immediately. Like one of the most certified episode 1 drops I've ever had. Sanda. Sanda, this one's fun. I'm having a good time with that one. Maybe I wouldn't put it quite into great yet, but I'm definitely very in. I think I will put it in there for now. I'm very interested to follow where this one goes. Main character, main character Santa, the descendant of Santa Claus in a world that hates Santa Claus for some reason. They probably have. Honestly, there's probably other mythical beings in the world that you'd see like in future, like you'd see like Easter Bunny and other stuff like that. I would think. I think we would end up. Yeah, I can. I just 1 second here. My mom was being loud in another room, so I wanted to close my door. But yeah, I do think we could end up seeing other mythical characters showing up, and that would be fun for like other superpowered beings. Because we're already seeing we got introduced to the guy hunting Santa. He'd shot him a long time ago before he'd possessed the current host. I would assume. because I don't think he's been alive for 30 years. Yeah, I think this should be a really interesting show, and I think it's gonna get better with time. It's already caught my interest pretty well. I mocked the character designs, but I can get over that just fine the in terms of other aspects of the show being good. Like the plot's very interesting to me. They made some weird decisions. Like we had the aspect where they know of this secret underground place inside the school that they aren't checking out. We're gonna probably get some answers to that soon, and we'll see how that turns out. They're also unique. Like the characters are feel different. They feel like they got something different going on from them. It feels like the author definitely tried to give them unique aspects to make them stand out more. So yeah, I'm definitely happy with where the show's going. It is definitely moved up from my initial first impressions as a show that's moved up. And it might go up more. Solo Camper 2, we watched a little bit of it. We thought this was like just okay. I would probably put it between like boring and decent. But we're gonna put this on unseen because we haven't watched the second season at all. I wouldn't even be opposed to watching some of it if there was less shows I was watching, but I just have too many other anime to watch, so yeah, it's on not watch. You put this on Hey Watch. This one is so this one is so strange. The world is just so strange. We only watched one episode, so we didn't even get to see that much of it. But they, they destroyed Shibuya. Yeah, they killed Shibuya. That is the tagline of the show. They killed Shibuya. These aliens from another dimension dropped a giant building on top of Shibuya, and then it disappeared. They killed Shibuya. Yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely be willing to check out. Excuse me, I'm just like having a cough here, some allergies. I'd be willing to see where it goes from there, but I'm not gonna watch it closely. Spy Family. It gets really close to being like one of my favorite shows. I think I probably will keep it there because it is one of my favorite series I've watched overall. It's a little bit on the edge, but I think I gave it a 9 still, so that would be the cutoff. Yes, Spy Family. Yeah, top show of the season. It is a returning show, so it's a little bit unfair to Last Boss or some other shows. They haven't had time to. It's had more time to build up characters. Yeah, I really enjoyed the dynamic between Lloyd, I was gonna say Yor and Anya. Yeah, and we have interesting side characters that we go to between episodes. It's a fun world that they get to play around with a lot. It's very much a slice of life, episodic show. We still have a little bit of continuing plot line, but it's more on off and on. Every now and then we get stuff happening, but not too much. You can easily jump in after skipping a couple episodes. It very much fits a TV format being episodic. It's like you could just skip a couple episodes. You're not really gonna miss much. Maybe there was a plot development the last time, but it also has stuff to catch you back up if you miss something. Yeah, I've basically always enjoyed watching Spy Family. It's adorable, got good humor, heartwarming, good action. Yeah, always had good stuff. Basically, all aspects of it are something I like. So yeah, Spy Family definitely one of my top shows this season. If you haven't watched Spy Family before, I would recommend checking it out. This was the Wedding Ring show, Tale of Wedding Rings. This is from like a couple of years ago at least. Actually, maybe it was. I don't think it was actually as long ago. I think it was like a year and a half ago. Yeah, I think it was pretty recent. Yeah, maybe it was just like just about 2 years ago. But yeah, I think it was at the beginning of 2024. That's why I think it was like it wasn't even that long ago. Actually, it was like winter 2024. But yeah, I kind of hated this one. This one, this Tale Wedding Rings is one I hated. I mocked Blaine for it constantly. Blaine's Escape Corner for liking that one. I don't think he even ended up finishing it either. Yeah, I hated on that one a lot. Not one I would recommend. Banished Court Magician. I think this one sucked. I don't even know where I'd put it. I don't remember very much from it at all, but it felt like very contrived of him being betrayed by the like royal family, getting kicked out of the royal court, and then he's just suddenly with his friends that show up to save him and like, hey, you want to join our party? And that's also part of it. Is like we didn't really need much setup. We could have gone into his backstory a little bit later, and we could have just had him adventuring with his friends. It really wouldn't change anything. And you can mention it, but it's like it does. I mean, you can mention what had happened, but it doesn't need to be the focus because it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's just really. It's like this is the setup. This is like where a person comes up with a concept for their show, but it's like your concept, like your premise, just doesn't matter. It's just an adventure fantasy show where you're going off with people. It's not like he has a goal to like get revenge on the court. Even for something like Gachiakuta, the start does matter because that's his motivation. But for the banished court magician, he's just gonna live his life and become stronger. It's like what is like he wants to become the next Hokage like Naruto. It's like imagine if Naruto had a like, extended backstory where you saw him as a baby growing up, where like before. No, I meant like literally the show starts with instead of like his early years, it's like him as a baby, right? It doesn't start with that, or does Naruto actually start? Okay, wherever Naruto's at, just start him a couple years before for no reason to show his backstory. That's what we got with the show. Mm, okay. We start with his father conceiving him. Man, I bet my child's gonna want to become the next Hokage. Yeah, Banished Court Magician. Honestly, episode one doesn't even do much to describe the rest of the show because yeah, like you said, it's blank slate. It could go anywhere. I don't know where it's gonna go from here. Maybe does that give it more potential than some of these other shows? I don't know, but the setup was so uninteresting that I had. Maybe I'll just put it in boring because I can't tell you if it was bad. Even it could have been good after that for all I know. Whereas like I've seen enough with Here Without a Class where it's like this is gonna be dumb. But for Banished Court Magician, there's just like so nothing. There's so much nothing there. That's why I put Dad as a Hero, Mom as a Spirit up here too, is because it could definitely deserve to be in garbage tier, but I just have not seen enough of it to know. I dropped it before it even got to that point, which is technically a benefit for the show in terms of my rating, but still not watching it. Yeah, this is another one I put in the boring tier. I didn't see negatives about it, but it just like had such a boring thing. She wrote a villainous story. She's in the villainous story, and she's discovering things are happening in the villainous story. And she needs to stop them. Yeah, that's the show. It's exactly what every other villainous. It's every other villainous story except there's no niche. There's no twist. It's like it's the same. Imagine May have one final wish, but she didn't punch people. She didn't punch people. That's what happens. It's like what do you have if she doesn't punch people in the show? You don't have anything. There's nothing here. Mirror shows basically mirror shows. Yeah, this monster wants to eat me. I would say this would be decent. This would be a decent show we're not watching. This would probably go a little bit higher. There's definitely more aspects to uncover in terms of like the rest of the world. We saw the first minor conflict with the mermaid and like some other water spirit that wanted to eat the main girl. Did we have a second conflict between her and like somebody else that was like trying to pry her? Okay, I didn't remember whether or not. Yeah, the second episode is maybe I would put it in boring, top of boring. Because yeah, like going on the criteria I've been listing, it's like I saw more plus size adventures of love. It's like okay, they could be doing this, they could be doing that. Whereas this monster wants to eat me. I could see the premise. It's like the premise is decent. The girl's suicidal and wants to get eaten by a monster. Uh, but the actual setup, the rest of the setup they went through, just wasn't that interesting. They had time to throw in some extra stuff, but it felt like they spun their wheels and they didn't really go anywhere in episode 2. Yeah, To Your Eternity. Never watched it. Never watched that one. Did you have anything about it? I did not know the show was coming out. I don't even remember what that one was. Um, but should we go back to the live chart? Let's go to the bottom here. Let's go to title and also English titles because that resorts it. Yeah. Let's go to the bottom here. That is you and Idol Precure? Is this Precure then? Huh. I'd assume doesn't look the same, does it? Is this Precure, this show here? I don't know. I don't think it. No, it's not. That can't be Precure. What is it? Because I don't see it. Are you sure these characters don't look the same? That does not look the same to me. I don't know what show this is. This guy is okay. Let's take a look at the visuals. Did he get it from this? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try to find him on X and message him about this. Is like, what show is this? Because I don't. Because this isn't that show. This is not the same. Yeah, I don't even know if this is like. I don't think that's even Japanese. I think that's. Yeah, that is Japanese actually. That's Japanese. But I thought I was like, is this a like Billy show? Watari-kun. This is a continuing show, I believe. I hate that one too. we're gonna take out the garbage ones first. I don't really care about the story, but I did not like the main character. It's just like it seemed very dumb from episode 1, like the way they set up the relationships and like him not remembering her and different stuff. The dog one. The dog one is one I never want to see. This is like feminist fanfic, and it's disgusting. Could I get some? That's what she wants. Okay, I have not watched Cinderella Grey because I'm not caught up on Uma because I want to actually just watch from beginning to end. Where would you put Cinderella Grey for you? Putting on the top of good for you? Middle of Grey? Okay. Yeah, for my list, I'm gonna put on Scene because I haven't caught up to it. Won't be watching it for a while, but yeah, I am definitely interested in watching. I'm interested in watching more Umu Musume. Okay, now another garbage show. Wa Dance. I kind of forgot like the plot points. I remember we talked about it like the first week when we were covering the shows or like initial impressions, but I kind of forgot about it for now. I like it's funny this is the one I remember the least of like the character's motivation, like the main character. He was just so boring and uninteresting to me that I don't remember. All I remember is the bad CGI dancing. That's the only thing I remember about Wa Dance is the bad CGI dancing. They have it in every episode. It's just terrible CG kind of stuff. Yeah, they're showing the CG dancing. I don't get it. Why did they want to do that? Nonsensical. And that was the last of our garbage here. The next three are shows we actually like, at least somewhat. I don't know if I want to promote Kamen Rider yet. I think for now I'm going to have it at the top of decent. I think that's where I'm going to put it. Maybe I'll swap place with Mangaka's Adventure eventually. Maybe I'll move it up to 6. But for now, I think I had like a 5.5. Definitely the animation, not very good. The animation's not very good. The art style's kind of funny. Some of the direction is just looks kind of dumb. There were definitely some positive moments of humor. That's definitely one of the stronger points I had going for it. We haven't watched an episode since we did we. I don't remember if we watched an episode since we last talked about it. I think actually we did watch episode 3. Yeah, we watched episode 3. I don't have too much movement on this one, but it's definitely better than I had expected to be. This is one I had expected to drop like right away. And just like the visual quality was gonna be low, and the storyline's very dumb. But I'm finding myself actually interested in how cheesy this is at this point. I've actually been enjoying the cheesiness of it. How would you say? Huh. Okay. So yeah, apparently that. I just realized this now because before the stream I think it was working, but now it's not because I had switched over. Discord wasn't working this whole time. Discord wasn't working this whole time. Let me see if I can get this open back up.
I'm about
Okay.
to pull up.
Yeah.
I'm about to pull up stream.
Had you been here? Did you check to see if you were going through a stream? Oh, that was the wrong one. Okay. Yeah. So I think that you're muted this whole time, but nobody told me. Dax had come in to say hi, but he didn't tell me. He probably didn't stick around long enough to notice, and I had scrolled down. I thought it was working, but apparently it wasn't, because I'm pretty sure I had it looking at the right Discord channel, but I don't think it was coming through. Unfortunate.
I was muted the whole time. I just confirmed it.
Yeah, you went through and looked.
Okay.
Yeah, that sucks.
Do you have anything to say about
You're not coming through now, but that's not my fault.
I don't care. The game is done. I'm just here for the. I'm here for the love of the game.
You're here for the love of the game. We'll go over your tier list at the end. You can mention anything specific you wanted to, because you know
I already.
nothing you said got through.
I already sent you the image in the chat.
Okay. Uh, for me, I would put Touring After the Apocalypse is definitely one of my top ones. It's such a nice. It's such a nice show. It handles emotions extremely well. It has really nice environments. These characters are lovely to watch. We only had like one side character we've really interacted with so far, and he was great. We got to experience his story after the apocalypse. Yeah, just utterly great show. I've loved watching Tour After the Apocalypse. This is one that could move up later. But yeah, you sent me the actual show that they're talking about, right?
I told you the name of it. I have to turn my phone on to see the. Yeah, the Fated Magical Princess: Who Made Me a Princess.
Okay.
It is 9 episodes out, so it started at the end of last season. That's why we didn't see it.
Yeah, the Fated Magical Princess. Was this a Billy show?
It is on Crunchyroll, but it has a weird credit.
Oh, that looks like it's Korean to me.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if it was on Webtoons or not. Not sure. Yeah, that was not one that, like, it started airing during the middle of last season, so that's why we did not know what it was. So we'll go back down here. We'll put that on unseen, because we didn't see that one.
True.
Yeah.
Yano-kun, the best show.
Yeah, was there something else I want to say about? I don't think there was anything else I really want to say about Touring After Apocalypse. This is definitely one of my favorite shows this season. Such a nice, relaxing adventure show. Just going over the Japanese countryside after the apocalypse and seeing what was left behind.
Is there anything else you want to say, Michael? That's great. Thank you.
I'm glad you're doing double duty here. Yeah, Yano-kun. This is another one I'd have at the top of my great tier. This is my favorite romance of the season. This one, I did have a different image I downloaded for this one, because this one didn't have the title anyways. I was gonna put this one in here. Oh no, Straws, you're exposing all your downloads. Oh no! Ah. Oh, did I not put it on the download page? Oh, where did I put it? I think I put it under my tier maker page. Yeah, there we go. I was gonna use this one instead. Because this just displays the main character, so I think it just looks better. I guess I'll put the other one into. Wait, where did it even go? I lost track.
No, wait, it's in the unseen.
Okay.
It's in the middle.
Yeah, it's just in the middle. I was gonna say I put it at the bottom there because I can't put it back. I can't put it back where it was, as far as I know. It doesn't go back once you clear all of them.
Mm-hmm.
That is okay. Yano-kun, definitely one of my favorite romances. One of the strongest we've seen this season. I don't remember. I don't remember all the ones from last season on the top of my head, so I can't really compare it to the ones last season. I know we had some good ones last season, a very gay one as well. But yeah, Yano-kun is just this girl who's falling head over heels for this poor guy who constantly gets beat up by the world through very much definitely magical powers attracting danger to him. But only to him. It doesn't actually hurt anybody else. It's specifically to him and his face. As we saw in the dodgeball episode where he could not be taken out by anybody because the ball hit his face and that's against the rules.
Mhm. That was the best.
Yeah, this is like super enjoyable, super adorable. I was gonna say, yeah, I wouldn't rate it as high as the what was the show from last season, the one with Waguri and what's his face? The girl who liked eating cake a lot.
Yes, that show.
Yeah, that show. If you watched it, you know what we're talking about. uh last updated. If I do last update, then I could probably find it. Yeah, Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. It does not have a memorable title, but this was the best romance for last season. Last season for me. Yano-kun, not quite on the same level for me, but definitely still very high. Very enjoyable show. Easily the ones I'll keep finished. We expect to finish. Like all these shows in this top tier here with like the great upward are shows I'm pretty much guaranteed to finish. I don't see many scenarios where I'm not gonna finish these shows. Like maybe Little Vampire, maybe Chitose like fall off for some reason. I do not expect Sandra to fall off. All of these shows in the good tier, I still expect to finish, but may not. They're on the range where like they may end up dropping after some time. The decent ones, I don't expect to drop them, but honestly, I probably wouldn't miss them if I wasn't watching them. And same for the not watching the decent tiers. Like these shows are totally fine, and like there's some people who will enjoy them quite a bit. They didn't quite make my cut. I don't want to be watching like 25 shows each season, so some have to get cut, and those are the ones that did. And then these are shows that really didn't capture me in my boring tier, hate watch tier. We're gonna be keeping Nausea. Like I said, I mentioned earlier when I was talking about, I expect to keep watching Nausea till the end and tell everybody all about it. And then we have the garbage tier with a much disappointing One Punch Man and a bunch of other titles that I could really give less of a rat's ass about. And I don't think there's anything in the unseen tier that maybe we'll check. Maybe we will watch a little bit of the dog one because that's just funny.
Yes.
We might watch a little bit of the dog one once. I'll probably watch Cinderella Grey at some point in the future. And that's all to be said for this one.
He got that dog in him.
And we'll zoom out here a little bit so we can actually get a picture of the whole tier list. Because that is a wide tier list. And then I will bring yours up. Where did you post the picture of yours?
In the stream channel chat. Also, you could probably just cut off the bottom row. You don't need unseen, do you?
No, I don't. That's true. I can zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, we'll just do it just like that because we're going to stick inside the borders. We'll get a little picture here. Oops, I missized that accidentally. So I gotta get it like pixel perfect, or else it's gonna annoy me. It's not like for any specific reasons, but I'll post it on Twitter here. As a very, very large garbage tier. As it should be.
Happens.
Most anime are bad, pass it on. But it's not for the reasons most tourists think so. It's because they're just bad stories, really. And that's cut. It's cut and dry of it. Yeah, let's go back to the releasing. And we'll go back to sorting by score. Just like show off the scores I got. Once again, Spy Family 9, Wild Last Boss at 8.5, Touring After the Apocalypse, Yano-kun's Ordinary Days, both at 7.5. Then I got Chitose in the Ramen Bottle, Little Miss Vampire Can't Suck Right, both at a 7. Then Campfire Cooking, Dusk Beyond the End of the World and Stand at 6.5. I think right now I will just adjust Stand up to a 7 because that's how I'm feeling about it. Mangaka's Weirdly Wonderful Workplace and Mask for One Final Thing at a 6. Then Alma-chan Wants to Be Family at 5.5, along with Tojima Wants to Be Kamen Rider, and Nausea, I have it a 1 because of just how annoyed I get at its world building. There is enjoyment to be had, but very much a different kind of just being. Anger can become its own entertainment, and that's really what it is.
Well, you kept wanting to avoid saying it, but it does feel just like a death game, like the enjoyment you get from it.
I suppose. I mean, maybe just the way I would enjoy a death game just isn't the same. Maybe there isn't really a death game I would unironically enjoy, like just get gratification out of.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just the way I see things wouldn't allow me to enjoy it in the same way as other people. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, you put it in your stream chat. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to hit send.
Okay, yeah, that's about what I would expect. Yeah, this is a
Hmm.
Michael's list. It's very low quality because he downloaded it from Tier Maker like an idiot.
True.
you actually have to take a picture because otherwise they compress the shit out of the quality.
Yeah, they're kind of dicks for doing that. It's basically the same as yours. I put the three hate watch shows at the top because they're the best,
They're the
obviously.
best. Yeah,
Then, like,
yeah. Spy Family.
pretty much the same as yours. They're just swapped around a little bit.
Yeah, you put so
Generally,
yeah, you got. No, I'll let you talk.
yeah, go ahead. I was gonna say, generally, I just base it off how much I enjoy it compared to other shows in general. So, like, great tier is like a 7 through a 10. Good is like a 6. Well, 6, 7, 8 through 9 for great. Mid is 5. You know, it is what it is.
Look at the quality on that beast.
Look, there. It's like Rorschach. What is that? A Kamen Rider mask on a hippie?
uh,
Even is the one right below Kamen Rider? What am
it's
I looking at?
may I ask for one final thing. I could recognize him because I've been looking at him for an hour. Otherwise, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take an actual like screenshot. Take an actual screenshot of those, or like
Yeah.
send me the link later, and then we can get a real one for you to put on your Twitter. Oops, I accidentally dropped a coin. But yeah. Okay.
I'm screenshotting now.
Yeah, I'll save mine. I just use Yaza. Yeah, and then a quick look because I do have to go soon. Quick look at the episode rankings. See where all these shows are at. And happy to see for Anime News Network. I think these guys have the biggest poll. I think these guys have the most people ranking stuff for them. Sanda is actually the top for them, which are after My Hero. My
Hmm.
Hero's number one. I'm not surprised about that at all. That's got to stay at the top for like the entire season. It's the most popular show going on right now. Yeah, Sanda is number two. That one is definitely a good catch for most viewers. I'd say I'm pretty happy with them liking that one. Fragrant Flower is still at the top. It's not releasing episodes. I don't know why the dubs. Is this like the dub release?
Based? It is the best this season,
I
actually.
mean, I guess if that was a show airing this season, that's a fair shout. Is this like the? This has to be the dub, right? Looking through this. It doesn't say that specifically, but yeah, I mean, this is the dub. It's really weird to see it on here when this is like a season out of order. Oops,
Hmm.
I clicked the wrong one. Oh, yeah. Okay, if I click on the little side there, then it doesn't take me there. Mangaka's Weirdly Wonderful Workplace is actually one of the top rated shows right now. It's moved around a little bit, but it's actually been consistently high rated. Gintama is pretty high, not too crazy. Cinderella Derby did not have an episode. This one's rated rather highly. Part two, the season. Ronda 1/2 is rated number 6. Mask for One Final Thing is still getting pretty good praise. Episode 1 was like one of the top new shows. Gachiakta a little bit ping pongy. Not as much as Sanda, or well, actually about as much as Sanda, similar. So it could go up and down any given week. And we got To Your Eternity. The Fate of Magical Princess, that's actually one of the higher ones. Yeah, maybe we should check it out a little
Surprising.
bit. Maybe we'll check that one out and we'll have something to report on next in 2 weeks. Yeah, Tour Apocalypse, Wild Last Boss, sufficiently high for me. Spy Family getting consistently good ratings. It's cool to see Kamen Rider getting like very positive reception because I like it. Other people liking it makes me happy. Star Brother and Son heading towards the middle of the tier list, past the monster meat. Kakurio, the bed and breakfast for spirits. That's pretty good for a returning show, honestly, that I didn't really know much about. Most returning shows just don't go that high. Like Campfire Cooking in Another World was better received, I assume, than Bed and Breakfast, and it's at the same place. This monster wants to eat me, kind of middling. My status as the hero, not doing very good for such a highly like high quality production. But again, it just really isn't that good. The Reincarnator show this season. Alma Chan wants to be a family. Banished Court Magician. And we are just kind of getting into the dregs. It's just like it's funny to see Nausea towards. Oh, I guess it's towards the bottom. We're getting towards the bottom here. I was like, it's funny
It
to
beat
see
One Piece.
Nausea towards the middle. What happened to one? Are people just? I don't. I can't. I could not tell you what's going on with One Piece.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yano-kun is
I
like
think
one of the worst rated shows. That's something I noticed when we were looking over Annie List. We'll get into a little bit more next time we stream. But like the actual rating of Yano-kun is very low compared to where we put it.
mhm.
Like it is one of the bottom shows. Like it was solo camping for 2. Togenaki is also down low. It does beyond the
Dusk?
end. It does beyond the end of the world and One Punch Man. So definitely a lot of emotion based ranking. But seeing Dusk Beyond the End of the World as the number 1 new show or number 0 new show, like the lowest ranked one, is kind of nuts.
Yeah, that's insane.
Cumulative ranking is one that adjusts less because it like takes each episode rating and combines them. So this one moves
Mhm.
less. Yano-kun actually rates better on this one when you have the cumulative ranking compared. Yeah,
As
Togenaki.
Gnosia.
Togenaki getting pretty trashed. Take a quick look at this to see if there's anything else that stands out. Because we mostly got the same stuff. Gachiakuta on this one instead is rating pretty highly. And again, it points out on or Annie trends, which ones are returning. That's for One Final Thing, Sanda, Ranma. Oh yeah, I guess this is season 2. It's not. It's the first part of season 2. I think it's probably gonna be a 2 core, just like the first season.
Mhm.
Yeah, my size of hero is high on this one, so maybe Annulus is just like the weirdos, the small sample size. Because this one seems to more follow like popular trends to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It was definitely more mass
Yeah, like
appeal.
Dusk Beyond the End of the World is much higher here. Past the Monster Movie Lady and One Punch. It might also be based on watching rather than likes. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yano-kun is not nearly as low here. Let's see what the bottom of the list is. It's Cat's
Actually, I
Eye.
think for this
Civis.
one you have to vote. So like, I guess enough people voted for it, right?
Yeah, Civis is one of the bottom ones. Cat's Eyes towards the bottom. Potion Wa.
Potions
Tatsuker.
winning, hell yeah!
There were a couple that were not on the other list, like Cat's Eye, so that guy didn't get everything, but it got every show I wanted to talk about, basically. Was there?
Potion is beating 40 years of anime history.
I say, was there actually any? Yeah, I was gonna say there wasn't any show it left off that I actually am watching, so it didn't really matter to me. Yeah, I think this show makes a lot more sense in terms of the popularity contest and like which shows are most popular. Little Miss Vampire, I'd like to see higher, unfortunately, but
It
yeah,
dropped 9, so it's usually higher.
yeah. Wild Last Boss is also rather low compared to many others in touring. Like some of the best shows this season really just aren't that popular with people, which is pretty common, but also sad to see. You like to see good shows get recognition.
I think these charts are weird because you have to vote for it every week, and people might forget to vote for a show that's already on top.
Maybe. And like inexpressive Kashiwata is just like in the middle unexplicably. Nosy being high
Like we're
is
watching,
reasonable enough. I can see why people would vote it.
we're seeing terrible shows jump 9 and good shows drop 9. So I think it's literally just fluctuating because of that.
Yeah. And something like when you go on Annulus and you just have people give their overall rating, you'll see a lot more smoothness to the curve.
Mm-hmm.
And like Little Miss Vampire has a pretty poor score, like 66 is not very good. It's not the worst, but it definitely not that good. And then we have something like Annie Corner, which will which will blind you, because it's just black on white, and they may mostly just show the same thing. Not many super interesting trends. I wanted to check where Common Writer was here. Cause yeah, Kashiwata is like around the low, like right above 30. which is lower than Any Trends was.
Right there, 33.
Okay, yeah. Mm, not very popular. Yeah, I do have to get going now.
1.4 is not bad. But yeah, I'll see you.
Yeah, thanks for anybody that's tuning in watching me talk to nobody for a while because of my mistake. Unfortunately, we didn't have anybody in the chat today, so nobody told me that Michael was not coming through. Yeah, anybody check it out. Our tier list coming after the fact. Thank you very much. And thank you, Michael, for being here today. This will be us for now. Gonna work on my next fest video, and then 2 weeks we will come back with more anime. We'll have watched more shows. We'll be up to at least episode 5, and we'll see how we feel about stuff. We'll see if we dropped any. We'll see how if we want to move anything around, and that's gonna be good for us this week. Any last word, Michael?
The shows.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody.